ELFM, it's radio, but so much more.
For one whole year, all 365 days, 12 months and 500,000 minutes of it, this city is letting culture loose. We're gonna make, create, perform, run, bake, share, sing, speak, play and more besides. Because culture is everywhere in this city. There's poetry here, and our football team can be pretty poetic at times too. This is theatre, and so is this, and this. She's a performer, and him, and her, and he put in some serious performances. And this is art, and so is this. And look at that, that's definitely art too, right? So now is the time to shout about creativity in all its forms, in all our communities, and be part of it. A way to bring us all together again, on every street, in every part of the city, because when this city speaks, we have a proper story to tell. This is Leeds 2023, and we need you, so get involved, be part of it, and together, we will let culture loose.
Just the awkward walk to the mics there for everyone listening. That's why there was the silence. Hello, I'm Martha, and
hello everyone, my name's Andy McCauley.
we actually haven't practiced doing it as a duo, that's why there's an awkward pause. But we are both from Leeds 2023, and we're really delighted to be here today at Chapel FM. Thank you so much for having us, and also thank you very much for coming to hear a little bit more about Leeds 2023, and as Lydia so beautifully put it, about having a conversation between Seacroft and Leeds 2023. So I'm just going to start off by saying a little bit about Leeds 2023 and about the Roadshow, which is what we're doing right now. And then we'll go through a number of other things, including some beautiful performances from some artists right here in Seacroft. Big part of Leeds 2023 is about acknowledging and showcasing what's already out there, what's already brilliant and beautiful and unique about Leeds. And we know that, and we want to give that a platform and celebrate that too. So for those of you that don't know, Leeds 2023 actually started life as a bid to become a European City of Culture way back in 2015. A lot of love, a lot of time, a lot of work and energy from lots of different people right the way across the city and beyond went into creating a bid. Unfortunately, post-Brexit, we were actually disqualified from that, but in true Leeds fashion, decided to do it anyway and do our own year of culture. So that's when Leeds Culture Trust came about, and that's who Andy and I work for, and that's what's going to happen next year. So 365 days of culture, and culture in its broadest possible sense: food, sport, selfies, live performances, music, the way that you celebrate your culture and your city, and how we do that together. So part of that, and part of learning what it is that people want to celebrate and talk about in the city, is doing these roadshows. So we're going to every one of the 33 wards in the city, and I think we're doing a few extra as well, just because why not? It's good to get out and about. And we're on about number 20 now, I believe. And part of this is about us, the team, coming out and meeting the people that live in all of those wards. Part of it's about talking to you about Leeds 2023 as a whole, and partly about telling you about some specific opportunities for how you might like to get involved next year and in the coming months. We're really keen that we tell different stories about Leeds, that there's representation. We know that in this city over 170 different languages are spoken. There's 33 wards, but there's 27 postcodes, so I don't know, you do the maths. It's a totally unique and beautiful place, and we want to find a way of doing that justice, and this event and all the roadshows are part of that. I'm just going to hand over to Andy to say a little bit about his role, just so you can get to know us a bit more as a team.
Thank you, Martha. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting us down here. We are delighted to be here. I thought I'd just speak about my own role. I am a music and commercial events producer, so I'm working very closely as part of Martha's team. It is my job to celebrate the incredible musical culture we have here in Leeds. And I'm a relative newcomer to Leeds. So I've come from Manchester, a little place you might have heard of just over the other side. Well, and so it's a very good point. It's a very good point you've made there, because when I was looking, when I found this job, and it was an attractive job anyway. But often you see these kind of things, years of culture, or festivals in certain boroughs across the country, and you do look at them and think that could be a challenge. But what's incredible about Leeds is the culture is already here. What Leeds 2023 is trying to do, when it was to be a European capital of culture, and now it's doing its own celebration of culture, Leeds will already be able to do those things because those things are already here. It's not a challenge for us. Our job is relatively easy, I believe, in that we just have to shine a light on the incredible performers, and some of them you'll see here this evening. We just have to shine a light on what is already here. And then we will try and augment some things where possible, but we don't. It's not like some places where you have to start from scratch. And so you made a very good point there. Leeds was a huge attraction, and I'm delighted to be here, and I'm looking forward to doing it. Please do speak to us later on about anything in particular. I did say I'm in charge of music, but we'd be happy to speak to you about anything, of course, that you're interested in as part of Leeds 2023. Thank you very much for welcoming us. Thank you, Leeds. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Tony, and your team. We will be working together with Chapel FM, of course, as part of our musical offering in 2023 as well. And we start that process in earnest in the coming weeks, don't we? That's coming up soon. We're really looking forward to it. That's enough from me for now. I'm going to hand over to Tony, who's going to give you a bit more information about Chapel FM. And and we'll be back later on, and we'll see you for questions at the end as well, of course. Thanks very much, everyone. Here's Tony.
Great. So because there's a mix of people who are from Seacroft, deeply, deeply part of the community for decades, in some instances others who are visiting or new to the place, we just want to talk about a couple things that are happening in Seacroft that maybe sort of our way locally to connecting up with some of the bigger citywide things that are happening in 2023. And then I'm going to introduce Lydia, who's going to talk a bit more about diving into some of those things. So 2.5 years ago now, when the pandemic hit and we went into the first lockdown, March of 2020, we, Chapel FM, started working really closely in a way that we never had before with a number of other organizations around Seacroft, LS14 Trust, Fall Into Place Theater, Seacroft Friends and Neighbors, Ketmere Community Center, Scott, Seacroft Community on Top, St. Anne, St. Richard's Church, and others. Starting off just really day-to-day things, food parcels being delivered. We, Chapel FM Arts Center, flipped on an FM broadcast. Phil Driscoll's here someplace, was the mastermind along with Elliot in helping make that happen, where we broadcast every day, 3 hours a day, live from the streets, frontline information, basic information, but also stories. We built an archive that went into the British Library's collections, where it'll be sitting. They could be found 100 years from now if people want to hear authentic voices from a place like Seacroft and how people responded to the pandemic. But out of that, this collection of organizations, our local councilors were very much a part of that, and we kept working together and have continued and completely changed the way that the third sector and arts organizations across Seacroft relate to each other. We realized we each had different areas of experience and expertise and strengths, and we could complement each other in new ways. And so that collective has evolved into a thing called We Are Seacroft, the We Are Seacroft Network. A couple weeks ago, we did a big event on the Village Green. It was a jubilee, but not really a jubilee. It was an excuse to have circuses and cricket and giant chickens and music and art and food on the Village Green. And in a fairly near future, within the next month or so, this We Are Seacroft Network is going to be launching a website to kind of link up all the cultural and third sector resources happening across the community. So as Leeds 2023 begins to approach in 6 months' time, the We Are Seacroft Network, of which Chapel FM is really proud to be a member, are in a really strong position to be connected, embedded within the community and link things up. So we're talking about all kinds of possibilities. Possibly, we've always done a music-a-thon here. We might bring our music-a-thon, our 24-hour concert, to a different level, for example, next summer. We'll see. So with that, We Are Seacroft, if you're from the community or not from the community, keep your eyes open for the We Are Seacroft website and social media that are going to be coming out soon. That'll be a way to get a much bigger roadmap of what happens around the community. Oh, I also forgot to mention the Seacroft Climate Hub. How could I forget them? They're part of the network as well. So with that, we're going to hear in just a moment from a couple of local artists, both poets, it turns out, because we do a lot of writing around here at Chapel FM. Peter Spafford, our director of words, is here. We've got two poets with strong local connections, giving you a little taste of the art that's coming out of Seacroft. But first, I want to hand the microphone over to Lydia Catterall, who's been part of the My World, My Neighborhood, My Community. Did I get that right? No, you didn't. I mixed up one, yeah. It's My World, and then it gets smaller from there. My city, my neighborhood, my community. And has been exploring, trying to find where's the gold in Seacroft. So I think you're going to a short film and talk a bit about the project, or the short film first, and then Lydia. So here's a bit of that, and then we'll hear from Lydia.
Well, I think it's right friendly. People are very friendly in Seacroft. It's fantastic family, it is, because everybody joins together.
I've realised that people are out to help anyone, you know, even just for a chat. To be honest, I wouldn't move out of Seacroft now.
This is the first time ever I've lived in an estate where I feel like I'm part of the community.
You're not on your own, we're a village.
It's quiet, you have plenty of nature, trees.
Seacroft is a place where things can happen if you want it to happen.
If you've got an idea, you never know, about 10 people might say yeah.
You know, everyone's got a voice, and it's a strong voice. And I think that with them strong voices, it will come change eventually.
As I always say on my postcode, where you live.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's good, isn't it? I don't know about you, but I can't watch that without grinning, and I'm seeing a lot of smiling faces in the room, so that's really, really nice. For those of you I haven't met before, I'm Lydia. I'm an artist. I'm based in Leeds, but I'm originally from Rotherham, just down the road. I've just told some people that recently who've been working with me for a long time. They didn't know, so I thought I'd share it. I've been knocking around Seacroft for a couple of years now. For 9 months of those 2 years, I was one of the My World, My City, My Neighbourhood artists, which was a Leeds 2023 commission. And it ended, some of you were there, at the Celebrate Seacroft event, which we did at the beginning of April, where over 300 people absolutely took over Kentmere Community Centre. I'm really sorry, Rachel. And we made a bit of a mess, and we ate loads of food, and we danced to some music, and we had broadcasts from Chapel FM, and we wore T-shirts, and we went home with mugs and tote bags, and we all celebrated everything that's in this place that's amazing, because there's loads in this place that's amazing. I think there's already been mention of stories tonight from Martha, and there's an amazing TED Talk. It's one of the most watched TED Talks of all time by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Has anyone seen it? It's about 12 years old now, and it's called The Danger of a Single Story. And in it she talks about how if we use the same words for a people or a place over and over and over again, then we talk it into being, we make it a reality. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I think there are certain stories about Seacroft that get told over and over and over again, whether we choose for them to be or not. But actually, if you listen in and create a little bit of quiet, there are different stories emerging from the people who actually live here, and there's a hell of a lot of love for this place. You've just got to make up the spaces to hear those stories come to life, like this film, which was a joy to make. So my main hope for 2023, and the way that it looks in Seacroft, is that there is that space for stories to emerge in the way that local people want to tell them, but also that the culture for celebration that we've begun to co-create in this place in really small ways, but in some bigger and noisier ways as well, in some really messy ways, sorry Rachel, that mess can grow, and that we can celebrate loudly and proudly for the length of that year and beyond, I reckon. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Lydia. Wonderful to hear. Hi, Rachel. Nice to meet you. Everyone, we've mentioned already about how important culture is to us here. and we are trying to work with local artists, and I'd like to invite to come and speak Dalton Harrison now, a poet from the local area. Please give him a big warm welcome to the stage. Thank you very much.
Didn't anticipate how nervous I'd be, so yeah, so I've experienced quite a lot of things before I got to Leeds, and I've been here for 2 years, over 2 years now. But this was the first city that helped me, and it was the first city that listened, and I was able to write this book, The Boy Behind the Wall, which talks about my experience of my journey from prison and out again. And this is one of the poems from that book, and it talks about trigger warnings are suicide and what happens when people enter prison. And it's about my journey being a transgender man in a women's prison as well, and that experience. It's called Identity. What is identity inside these walls? Doors so thick it binds the chest you hide so you can't breathe. Define me by numbers, a sign that says female estate. I can't deny I'm here, but I'm just visiting. Yet still I see the dirt tracks of ghosts walking in rows. The smell of death, like somehow that was the only way to ever be free. What is identity? Identify me in society's hollow walls, where no one hears you cry in towels, given, used and repeated in a system that deals with mass incarceration. This blue towel in my hand that I leave the streaks in, my sobs, my grief, my guilt, my past. I could wring it out, tear it in half in anger, but I sit with this feeling that stretches across from hand to hand. I look and I wonder in the middle of my pain, in the pinnacle of my fallen tears, if anyone used this as a noose to stop theirs. I throw it aside and it coils round like a viper in the room. I feel the poison, I taste it on my lips, I feel it in my body. What is identity? The system is they, them. I am the boy behind the wall, and the sign says, female estate. Thank you. The main thing that happened to me when I got into Leeds was I was being judged. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a home. I didn't know where to turn. Finally, someone accepted me in Beeston, but that wasn't really the end of my problems. I tried to get into university, and that took a while. And you're constantly met with labels, but I was given a chance. And like I said, this city gave me that chance. And this poem is called University Life. I lived where sociology met urban streets and criminology. I was the biology of all I saw, every dustline cover on the house where I was born. I lived in situations that created chaos, that grew out of economics. Cultural, social problems was the quilt to make my bed. My history created a future of words I wanted to understand. I have walked between geography and penology, where mythology is only defined as life to those who live inside. I hold the key to everything they want to be, a reality where the only key is the one I use to lock my door when I go outside. I, who can now be the governor of my own body, I who was once not allowed to go anywhere without being escorted. I am now so much more than the faces who sentenced me as if I was nothing. I am ready to start my course in criminal justice and criminology, ready to understand the individual, social, legal, and political forces that shape crime. I've done the practical. I have been where few students have seen in pages of statistics, of illusions created by Netflix. I will line my shelves with the books that shape the bodies of me and all those I know. I will read the words that look at all the places I once thought of as home. I will turn the page that has framed my life in a legacy that I will change. I will reframe and know my worth. I will enter university life, no longer the person who sat in a cell looking out at the world. There are many people that help you, and there are many agencies that work in this area that are doing amazing things for everybody that's trying to make a sort of place in their world and do right for a change. And there's a company called Tempus Novo, and they're based outside Armley Prison. And they helped me get my first job when I got out. And this is a poem for them. So Tempus Novo means meaning new time. So it's called Tempus Novo. I look in the mirror. New work uniform in navy blue. Hands that rub the fabric remembers dust on low brick. The sound of bang up. The taste of tears like rain in the air. Fold paper to make origami hearts that tear under touch. Time has slammed enough doors, lock-bolted and secured, to allow for this moment now. Guilt has unbuilt a life. The price of my reflection, rebuilding, reminding myself, one day at a time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dalton. That was really beautiful and a really amazing example of the artists that we have in all the communities across Leeds. Thank you for sharing that, and Lydia for sharing the outcome of your project. Watching that video was really, really lovely. And I love the young woman that said, if you've got an idea, there's probably 10 people that get behind you. I'm like, yeah, great. Army of 11, that's enough. So I'm going to talk a little bit more now about some, and Andy's going to talk too, about some distinct opportunities, ways that you can get involved already in Leeds 2023. One of those main things is through our neighbourhood house scheme. So what we're looking for next year, but beginning with us in October 2022, it's a paid role, and we're looking for somebody in each of the 33 wards of the city. We want this to be someone that is passionate about their ward, that knows what's going on but wants to know more, is an organiser of sorts, a galvaniser. We know those people out there. We know loads of them are in this room. And we want to give those people more support, more of a platform to do what they're already doing, hopefully bigger and better. As part of that, it's a paid role. Like I say, it's a few hours a week. It starts from October 2022 right the way to December 2023. It's a pivotal role in Leeds 2023. It needs to help us. We need to help them. It can be ambassadors for opportunities, for getting people through the door, for helping communities know about events, and also for helping us shape the programme. So like I was saying before, making sure we're hearing those stories, having those conversations, and making sure everybody is involved with Leeds 2023 as possible. We have got the recruitments open, so you can go on our website and you can go through an expression of interest. It's very straightforward. It's just a few questions, and there are also some workshops on there that you can book onto where you can find out more about it. There's also a really long and detailed brief on the website about exactly what the role is. And one of the most exciting outcomes, I think, it's a good chunk of time to spend with an organisation, but one of the brilliant things is that it is a training scheme, and it's about upskilling and also the opportunity to say what it is you'd like to learn more about. And in August 2023, there'll be a number of citywide events that these neighbourhood hosts will be integral in pulling together. So again, what do you want to happen in your ward? If you want to have sort of input into that, if you want to be a person that can help shape it, help make it come to life, then this role is really exciting. We want those people to be embedded in their communities and to bring about the best opportunities possible. So really localised events happening all across the city in August 2023, making it come alive in whatever way that ward sees fit to celebrate. So like I say, expressions of interest on the website now, really brief. There's also some workshops that you can go along to and hear more about. And we'll start that recruitment process in sort of September. And then those people will be with us from October 2022 right the way to December 2023.
Great, thank you, Martha. I'm going to speak about our youth summit, and I'm just going to read it actually from our site here, just because what they've written here is much more succinct than I could describe it, so I'll just bear with me while I just read through this. At Leeds 2023, we are keen to listen and to respond to and support children and young people across the programme. And we are hosting a youth summit in the summer to enable us to kickstart a conversation with children and young people about what they want to see, engage and lead on in 2023. It's really important to us, obviously, to work with those young people because we all think we know what we're doing, of course, and we're doing our best, but young people are shaping what we're doing in the future. We must work with them. It's really important to us. We hope the Youth Summit will serve as a catalyst for our intention to listen, platform, and support young people and their ideas across Leeds 2023. Now, our first Youth Summit workshop is taking place at Leeds Playhouse. It's on the 15th of July. And there will be creative activities and panel discussions where we will chat about what culture means to people, which will inform then what we do as part of our activity of Leeds 2023. So I know there are a few young people in the room. Do come and speak to me or Martha about that later on, or any of the rest of our team. It's really, really important to us. In the same way, we want to celebrate what we've got in the city already, which we're starting to do and we will do again later on. It's important to us to provide the opportunity for those young people who will lead Leeds not only in 2023, but beyond 2023, into 2024 and beyond. That's part of our responsibility. Okay, that's enough for that for now. I will now introduce to the stage another fantastic poet and who is joining us on very short notice as well. Thank you very much. It's James Lewis Moran, please.
Isn't it funny, the power of stories? One day you are walking down the street to a writer's group. The next, you are on stage and you have 5 books. Good. So, I've been asked to read instead of sit, and I'm going to try and read these. Summer is here. Ready those engines, the sun is out. Invasive weeds, be afraid. The trimmers are revving loudly, ready for action. People boast of their cordless garden tools. Appearances are kept, honour in all that is prim and proper. A growing competition, never-ending. Same again next week. See beer bellies and cargo shorts. Hear the obnoxious music through wireless speakers. Watch those territorial gardeners stomping around in oversized, wet Wellington boots. Many kingdoms of bugs, garden gnomes, and cheap pottery have been established this month. Summer is here. Oh, nerves. Sure. Is this a bit better? Wonderful. I wrote this for Light Night. It is called Serenaded by a Boat. There was an image of a little boat attached to a moon, chained, and I thought, that's a cool image. And I decided to write about that. Serenaded by a boat. Their name was simply Trevor. They were tethered to the moon on Light Night here in Leeds. On mornings, there's the sound of angle grinders on boat rust, strained industrial power tools hard at work. See swans as they nibble on the waterline's weeds. Watch those still tides as they sway, the hum and pulse of a diesel engine. Hear that squeal and metallic crunch of a lock gate as its cast iron cogs thud and twist. Listen to the skipper's song, a river's tune. Right, last one. You're almost done of me. Travel. Stomp your heels in Yorkshire fields overgrown. Tread the paths that none have known. See the trees and that warm morning sun. Smell the lavender. Feel how spring has finally sprung. No more nights of painful cold and gloom. Now arrives the time to depart your cave. Call long-lost friends, announce you're not dead, that this hibernation is over, the one inside your head. Bring treasured cameras, notice small, beautiful details. Forget that toxic social media. Ignore those emails, they can wait. Go traveling alone. bring a cat.
Bring a cat. That's what he said. Bring your cat. Bring a cat, not even your cat, any cat. Thank you, James. That was gorgeous. Afterwards, we're all going to be around. So if you're in this room and you work for Leeds 2023, can you put up your hand and move around a bit? There we go. Not very helpful in the lights, but yeah, us as well. So we're going to say a little bit more now. I'm going to talk about volunteering. And then afterwards, we're going to be around for any questions and conversations you may have. So yes, I said earlier, there are three kind of distinct ways at the minute of how you can actively get involved with Leeds 2023. The first one is the Neighbourhood Host Programme. Please do apply to that. Please do send it around to people that you think would be interested. We want to shape that role. We want to make it the best possible experience it can be. The second is the Youth Summit that Andy mentioned on the 15th of July. And the third is about becoming a volunteer for next year. I know there's a couple of people in here asking already, which is great. Our head of volunteering will be absolutely delighted to hear that people are already interested. But next year, we want this to be the most extraordinary year in Leeds. We feel everybody in Leeds deserves that. I mean, everybody deserves it after the last couple of years, but generally. There are going to be extraordinary events. There are going to be lots of different ways that you can get involved and opportunities. And the volunteer programme is not just about sort of turning up on the day and stewarding people around. There's some of that, obviously, but it's also a training programme. It's an opportunity to get to know other people in the city. It's get to sort of get backstage glimpses of things, be involved in projects in a way that you wouldn't ordinarily. It's a really unique opportunity. We're looking to recruit between 1,000 and 2,000 volunteers across the city, so it's going to be a big old cohort, and it'll be an amazing collective, an amazing thing to be a part of, and we really want those volunteers to be as representative of the city as possible. We want people to go to events and see themselves reflected back in the people that are supporting them and being there with them too. So in terms of becoming a volunteer, you can go on our website now and you can express your interest, and at the end, in the next sort of couple of months, that will go live and we'll start recruiting people. And what will happen is there'll be a whole load of projects, and you can sign up to individual projects, different training opportunities, and you'll go through the system managed by a wonderful person called Lee. So that's volunteering. We hope as many of you apply as possible. If you've got any questions about it, feel free to come and ask one of us afterwards. But yeah, we'd really, really love you to be a part of Leeds 2023 in that way.
Thank you, Martha. All that's left is for me just to sum up a few things, I think. And, of course, we'll be happy to speak to you, and we'll be actively trying to speak to you at the end as well. Thank you very much for allowing us to come to this wonderful venue. Thank you to everyone who supported us in putting it together. Thank you to our incredible performers. Thank you, really, really moving the things you're doing already. Looking forward, hopefully, to doing some things together in 2023. Really, really pleased about everything that we've done so far, and 2023 is zooming up. We have time still to do more, and we are full of enthusiasm to do that. Our next roadshow, if anyone is interested, is this coming Thursday at Wetherby Sports Association. Downstairs you will find some postcards and some activities there, and just come and speak to us about what those activities are. We want you to write a postcard to further roadshows, to speak to each other about, to connect these communities, because of course we don't want this to just be Seacroft and Seacroft only. We want to speak to everyone across Leeds and connect these areas as well.
You can also read ones that people have written about their own ward. So what would you like the next ward to know about Seacroft? And there's some really beautiful things that people have written from previous wards. It's quite nice to go and have a little flick through of some of them and find out more about a ward that maybe you don't know as much about.
And we have some wonderful writers in the room as well, so we know we can write something beautiful.
Yeah, from you guys.
And there are other activities downstairs, so do have a look at those. Most importantly, there is still some food downstairs, I believe. So please do replenish your plates. Thank you to all the team behind the scenes, our own team here at Leeds 2023. Thank you for putting it together. Do come and speak to us afterwards. As I said, I think our team already raised their hands, but do it again, because it's important. Do come and chat to us. I've already had a chat with a few of you downstairs. I had a good chat with my man Danny there about opportunities, and we were having a really good chat. We had to just cut it short because we were starting, but we were really inspired speaking to each other, and I think, you know, it's our duty to find people like Danny and give those opportunities, and we will do that. We're really looking forward to working together, and he and I will carry on chatting afterwards as well. Martha, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you, Andy.
Tony, thank you for inviting us. Looking forward to working together in 2023. Tony gave the game away a little bit there, but, you know, our lips are sealed for now, but sooner or later. Elliot and your team, thank you very much for looking after us as well. And as I said, thank you very much to our wonderful performers and Lydia as well. Thank you for what you put together. Really, really inspiring. This is what we can do if we all work together, and we're really looking forward to creating it with you, with everyone here in this room. Pleasure to meet you all and see you downstairs. Thank you very much. Last thing, sorry. Last thing I should have said, of course, there, sorry. There is, of course, the live stream still taking place. Thank you to everyone watching, wherever you are. Hello. Thank you for those who've watched on the live stream. We will leave the chat open on the live stream, and we will respond. So if you are watching on the live stream and you have any questions, please do put those in the chat. We will respond to you on that chat as well. So please, we'll leave that chat open for you on the live stream. Everyone in the room, come and chat to us face to face. Pleasure. Thank you very much, everyone.
So many nights I spent crafting, trying to catch my breath, thinking about tomorrow. So many nights I spent working, but you know, my friend, there's gonna be tomorrow. Where you go, baby, leave your stress now. No more letdowns, we are blessed now. Where you go, baby, thinking about you daily. Yesterday was a promise to you, so today you know what to do. Live your life like that is your tomorrow. Live your life like that is your tomorrow. When I was a little young boy, I no worry for my trouble. Wish I could bring back the good times. Celebrate cause we got one life, but different one life. Where you go, baby, thinking about you daily. Yesterday was a promise to you, so today you know what to do. Live your life like that is your tomorrow.